My name is Chloe Valentine. I have a dog named Moxie Cleopatra. I love to use cardboard. I'm lucky that my school provides a laptop for all students to use for both school activities and personal projects. When I took mine home for the first time, I had a conversation with my dad about coding. I like to build things and make things, so it sounded like something I wanted to learn how to do. I, of course, had no idea how to start, but then I remembered hearing about Scratch from one of my teachers. I went onto my laptop quickly and made an account. Today I'm going to talk about my Scratch journey so that you can understand it and learn about Scratch from a kid's point of view. This might help you to figure out how to help other students discover and learn about the program. My work on Scratch has changed a lot over the years, and you might find it helpful to understand how and why. I was supposed to give this talk when I was 10 years old. At that time, I probably would have just talked about games and starting out with Scratch. When I was just starting to use Scratch, I did what probably every person did. I just played around, followed tutorials, looked at other people's games, and always felt amazing when I did something in the Scratch environment. It's important to note here that I learned how to use Scratch because I was having fun. And then the more I learned, the more I could do, and the more accomplished I felt. This allowed me to have even more fun. Scratch is a fun way for kids to learn coding, so if you want them to learn how to use it, use the fun to your advantage. If you want to get little kids into Scratch, I suggest showing them cool games that they can code and introducing them to the main elements of block coding. There are easy tutorials that they can follow, and they can make their own cool games using their imagination. Let them play around. Help them understand how they can learn what they want to do, and introduce them to the work of other people. That's all you have to do. Scratch will do the rest. I remember some of my earlier projects where I was still learning coding, and I'm pretty sure I just followed a tutorial. But it still felt amazing when I made something happen. This was when I just learned about the whirl effect and the color effect. I just made these two things spin around a bunch. And this one was a mini conversation. It was basically, what's your name? Do you like dogs? Me too. As you can see, these are pretty simple, but they took me a long time to make. And when I was done, I felt very accomplished. Trust me, it's amazing to feel the sense of accomplishment that kids feel when they make something in Scratch. If you can help students experience the sense of accomplishment, you will be giving them a huge gift because they will want to keep going, keep learning, and maybe even figure out a coding language beyond what they can learn in Scratch. Now let's fast forward to today. I'm 12 and I've been using Scratch for 2.5 years now. At some point I started to realize that Scratch was not only fun, but also an impactful way for people to communicate with others and even spread awareness. When you're younger, Scratch is a way to speak out, have fun with animations, but as you get older, you can use Scratch to share your voice and raise awareness about things that matter to you. Here are some of my new projects. This is a Pride Month project that I made, which I did some art, I made colors change, and I made it move around. This project is a project on disabilities. It's a game where you can click on the answers. It's kind of like a guessing game, but yeah. My goal with Scratch now is to raise awareness and educate people about all kinds of things. One example of a project I'm working on was the Disabilities Project. I'm making it a question game where you click on the answer about questions with disability. I'm blending some of the fun stuff I used to do when I was 9 with some of the more serious stuff I'm focused on now. I want to talk about things like climate change, cancer, etc. I want to make learning about these topics engaging for people. They're serious and not really fun to learn about, so I know I have fun ways to encourage people to learn about what's important and necessary, even if the topics are unpleasant or scary. What I like to do as much as possible is make learning fun for people, and Scratch is perfect for that. For example, when I figure out a topic, I make it an interactive game like a platformer or something like that. In the beginning of my Scratch journey, I used Scratch to toy around, which I still love to do. But I used it to toy around with block coding and making games about random things. When kids use Scratch, it feels like they're having fun, not doing the work. Teachers should let this continue. Once kids have been working on Scratch for a while, encourage them to find their voice, to use Scratch to present things that matter to them, like their creativity or their activism. Players you uncover as a Scratch user seem to arrive right at the right time. So as a teacher, you just have to give the kids time to play around with it and give them exposure to it, and then maybe show them the right tool at the right time if they seem stuck. Most important, you want to see them getting stuck as an invitation to play around and figure stuff out. Scratch can be fun, and it can also change the world.